Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do a fan flap, so let's do one right now. There we go. Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. And this video is going to be catching up with lots and lots and lots of little news bits that have been coming up over the last couple of days. But I think some of the main points to make today is that Harry is expected very, very soon to return to Meghan and Archie. He has just had a meeting, a very private meeting where there were no royal aides, no Downing Street aides, just a one-on-one meeting with the British Prime Minister today, and that was as part of the UK Africa Summit event. So Prince Harry got to spend some one-on-one time with the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. We do not know what was said, but it is expected, there has been lots of reports that Harry is intending to go very, 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 very soon, imminently, back, if not already, if not in the air already, back to Harry and Meghan. Now, let me just go, first of all, and load up the chat room so I can see who's here and who we're talking to. And then I will I'm going to be skipping all over the place with lots of different stories. So, yeah, it is not just, literally, I could only fit 2 topics of conversation in the title. This video is going to be about lots and lots and lots of different things. So, hello to everyone. Hope you've all had a really wonderful day. I can see you all. Jean K says, of course, he's going back to his wife and baby. He is, but obviously people didn't know when that was going to be. It has been 2 weeks. I can't remember where, but a detail emerged. Oh, I think it might have been last night when Harry gave his speech. But I think he was talking to someone and a detail came out that Archie had seen snow for the first time and that he was really excited and happy to have seen snow. So whilst all of this has been going on, it's important to remember that it has been keeping Harry away from, obviously, Meghan and Archie. So, I'm not sure if you're hearing me. Am I back on? Am I back on? Let me just see. Right, are we back on? Okay, it may have cut out for a moment. It may have been my internet. It may have been YouTube. But hopefully I'm back right now. So there we go. Hopefully I'm back. Right, what I was saying before I noticed it had all cut out was about Prince Harry's private meeting with Boris Johnson. So, all the photos of this sort of when Boris Johnson was meeting Harry, obviously we do not get to see the meeting, but of the event, all the photographs I've come across, you can't use because of copyright. So I am going to show it or not. Actually, was there an... Oh yes, hang on. Actually, no, I don't, because they've shared it on their Sussex Royal Instagram page. So I can share that link instead. So I'm going to copy the link to the Sussex Royal Instagram account, and you will see Harry at the event, but not with Boris Johnson. So let me go to the chat room. I will post that link. So if you want to see Harry at the event, click that link. But if you want to see a newspaper article with the Boris Johnson photographs, I will send a second one. Again, I can't use those because they are copyrighted. So let's just find the chat room and post the second one. Again, I will post all these links in the description box if you're watching on Catch Up. So let's go to that one first. So you can see a very expressive British Prime Minister Boris Johnson with his arms outstretched. I know I've seen lots of funny things on Twitter with people saying caption this. But yes, Harry did indeed meet Boris. Now, again, if you go by the title of this article, you can see another little bit of information coming out. Again, we do not know if this is true or not, but like all things, we do not know at this point sometimes what is true, sometimes what is not true, unless things have actually been confirmed. What we do know in reality is that Harry and Meghan have retained their titles, but have chosen not to use them, which is very, very different to having them stripped away. But the headline of this article does say that the Queen considered stripping Harry and Meghan of their Sussex titles, but feared looking petty. Now, I have to say, I think the article wording is really, really exaggerated. I think what actually happened was more along the lines of the royal family had kind of remembered and learnt their lesson from what happened with Diana. And I don't think they wanted that to happen to Harry and Meghan. So this is why this sort of retaining of titles but not using them, I think, came in. Although it does say that some sources have said that this was discussed at the highest levels, but I think that's all it would have been. I think it will have been discussed, put down as an option. I said myself, whilst all of this was going on, that potentially we could have them made the same kind of status as Zara and Peter. It was always going to be an option, but this kind of halfway house of, whilst you are, being commercial, not using the royal titles that you hold, may, it may be okay. That is still to be seen. We still have to see in practice how that works out. Although, of course, Harry and Meghan have expressed that they will respect the values and uphold the values of Her Majesty the Queen. If that had gone ahead, it's considered that they would have used their lesser titles as the Earl and Countess of Dumbarton, putting them on the same kind of level as the Earl and Countess of Wessex. And again, it's been speculated that this could have been because of maybe an occasion where they would have had to have curtsied and bowed to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. Again, I think that kind of thing is a load of speculation. It's a little bit of hogwash. I do think it will have been discussed at senior royal level about full removal of titles, but I think that's all it would have been, discussed as an option, but never the preferred option. I think they always will have learnt the lessons basically from what happened to Diana. So instead, yes, they still have their titles, but they are being styled in the same way, whilst they are being commercial, as almost a divorced member of the family, the same way that Diana, Princess of Wales, Sarah, Duchess of York. So technically, yes, still HRH. Technically, yes, still the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but fundamentally not using them, and I think not being able to use them whilst they are being commercial. But yes, going back to the Duke's meeting with Boris, we do not know what was discussed, but what we do know is if we go back to the Instagram post link that I posted from Sussex Royal, I will read what Harry and Meghan, or rather Harry, has posted regarding the UK Africa Investment Summit. So it was hosted by the UK government, hence why Boris Johnson was there. The Duke of Sussex met with leaders from Malawi, Mozambique and Morocco, touching on investment in renewable energy jobs, tourism and environmental issues. And it says the Duke has been involved in various causes in Africa for over a decade and has helped to initiate a number of key projects in the region surrounding conservation and tourism, the threat posed by landmines and the HIV/AIDS epidemic. And it goes, it kind of recaps a little bit on the Duke and Duchess's recent visit to Southern Africa last September, where it says the Duke and Duchess met with project teams working to encourage youth employment, entrepreneurship, education and health. Through their roles as President and Vice President of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, which they will retain, the Duke and Duchess have worked to support a growing network of young changemakers across the Commonwealth and will continue to do so, especially in the run-up to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting 2020. The Duke of Sussex's love for Africa is well known. Of course it is. He first visited the continent at the age of 13, and more than two decades later, the people, culture, wildlife and resilient communities continue to inspire and motivate him every day, which I thought was a really lovely thing to do. Also, I will touch on an earlier post as well by Sussex Royal, which if I can copy the link and share, let me just go there. So you can all open it and follow it if you want to. Let's go back to it so I can see it. So I will read a little bit about this. So it says, wishing a very happy 10th birthday to Walking with the Wounded. Charity, staff, and everyone who has played their part in supporting injured British Armed Forces servicemen and women over the last decade. Wow, I can't believe it's actually been 10 years. The Duke has worked hard to raise awareness over the years, including an expedition to the North Pole in 2011. That was really 2011? Oh my goodness, I remember that so well. Tracking across the South Pole with 12 injured servicemen from the UK, the US, and the Commonwealth in 2013, and joining wounded veterans for their incredible 1,000-mile walk of Britain in 2015. Of course, it was established in 2010. Support the Walk has created pathways for vulnerable veterans to reintegrate back into society and keep their independence, focusing on those facing the toughest challenges since leaving the military, offering assistance through programs to those who have been physically, mentally, or socially disadvantaged by their service and assist them through new sustainable careers. The outcome of the remarkable work over the past 10 years, sustainable employment and independence for thousands of veterans and their families. And for more information, you can visit the @ symbol on Instagram, support the walk. So you can go and check out more about that. Now, there has also been a lot of talk about Meghan and Harry's patronages. So it's expected that they will probably drop all of the royal ones. Any work on behalf of any charity or patronage on behalf of the royal family is likely to be dropped. But any that they are going to be supporting now with their new Sussex Royal Foundation, any endeavours that they have created themselves are likely to retain. So I would probably say that Harry will retain the Invictus Games. Probably will still have things to do, maybe even with walking with the wounded. Hard to get that out then. But it will be any work like that will be probably in a private capacity, probably through the vehicle of their new Sussex Royal Foundation. Again, lots of talk in the UK press about the use of royal in the Sussex Royal Foundation. So what's likely to happen, I imagine, because we are still awaiting details on this, I would imagine that any charitable work, the charitable foundation of Sussex Royal, will probably be allowed. I will go out on a limb and probably say that the charitable foundation will probably still be called Sussex Royal, but any commercialisation, I imagine they will have to come up with a different business name, if you like, for that. So anything to do with charity, anything to do with philanthropy, will probably be okay with the Sussex Royal. It probably I wouldn't have thought would raise any conflict of interest. But when commercialising yourselves, I imagine they will probably have to come up with a different vehicle for any commercial deals that they make, any sponsorships, any brand deals, which of course they are now free to make under this new arrangement, which of course there is a transition period until the spring of 2020. Again, I'm just trying to think of all the stories that are going on. There has been talk about the funding. So it's been reported that Prince Charles will continue to fund the Duke and Duchess at least during this transitional period until they are up and being financially independent by themselves. But this will come from the profits from the income of private investments, not the duchy. So that's what I'm hearing at the moment. I'm hearing talk that he will continue to fund them, but that these resources are not infinite. This will probably only likely be through a transition period, probably until the spring, or maybe a little bit beyond, until they start actually making their own money to be able to pay for themselves. Because of course, it's been widely reported that potentially they could make hundreds of millions. Maybe even I've heard reports of up to $1 billion going on here. So eventually they won't need Prince Charles's or anyone's money anyway. But at least I think it's quite good to get the separation between the duchy money and Prince Charles's private income. So if this comes from from the private income. I can't see there being any need for people to criticise that, if you know what I mean. So I think that was a bit of a workaround, maybe a bit of a clever move by the Prince of Wales there. So thumbs up, Your Royal Highness on that one. I think that's quite a clever move. Also, there has been press talk about a reconciliation between brothers, between William and Harry. That all of this has actually kind of brought them together. I mean, again, we don't know how true that is, but if it is true, well, I hope it is true. I hope that this has made them realise, that they are brothers, and that everything is not as important as family, and I'm hoping that they have come together with all of this and mended a few bridges, if indeed there were any to mend in the first place. But yes, I hope that is true. I have heard, of course, rumblings that now Charles has some beef with Harry. Again, that doesn't kind of check out to me. I mean, I'm sure, all of them will have had words behind the scenes, but if the Prince of Wales is still offering to pay and support Prince Harry, Meghan and Archie through the use of his own private investment funds, that says to me that he is being supportive, and yeah, that kind of counteracts a lot of those rumours, if you get what I mean. So, right, I'm going to go back to my list because I have literally a whole load of things. So, I've got on my list the mood of the British people. I did speak about, obviously, when all of this came out, kind of seeing what the mood of the British public is. So, on the whole, I would say that the British people, it's still a really, really big topic here in Britain. It's on every day, it's on all the news channels. I would say people are largely in support of the deal that was reached. And I think it's unfair to call it Megxit. That has been a hashtag, it's been a thing, it's been an actual word that is now used on the news channels. And I think it's unfair to call it Megxit because that kind of puts all of the accusations of blame onto one person, onto Meghan. And of course, as we know, this is a joint decision. We don't know entirely how they came about that decision, but this is a joint decision. Harry, in his speech, which I will read in a moment, I'll read extracts from it, made a point. I think he made a really big point, and he made it an issue that it was his decision. He was protecting his family, so I don't really feel that the word Megxit is quite the right word to use. It puts all the blame onto one individual, and again, that kind of goes with the whole bullying issue, bullying, racism that could be some of the reasons why this has happened in the first place. But I do think that the British people generally are in support of this. I think the people are generally in support of Harry and Meghan being happy, living in peace. Whether or not they will get peace from this move is a totally other issue altogether. Whether the media will leave them alone, whether they will have lower profiles or higher, bigger profiles remains to be seen. But I think people are largely in support of Harry and Meghan living their life how they want to. I've heard a few rumblings about titles, about people being a little bit confused between the retaining of titles but not using them. Some people, I have heard criticisms saying that the titles should be removed completely. I'm not going to lie, some people have been saying that. Some people are saying that maybe they should be more like Zara and Peter. However, I've also heard lots of people saying that we wish them luck, we want to see how it's going. And also, crucially, by retaining the titles, the door has been kept open for them to come back. Also, I've heard reports that this is going to be under review. So, in a year's time, the Queen, senior royals are going to reassess the situation. Harry and Meghan are likely to reassess the situation to see how things have gone. So, there is very, very much an open door going on right here. And also, I think the Queen is going to ask her advisors and other senior royals to look at how Harry and Meghan have commercialised themselves. What deals have been struck? Have they upheld the values of the monarchy and Her Majesty? All of that will be under review. So I don't think it's quite right to say that Harry and Meghan have completely broken away right yet, because this is still under review. It's under review for a whole year's period. So we have the transition period into becoming financially independent from the monarchy by the spring of this year, 2020. But crucially, probably from that point, a year on, there will be likely to be a review by the Queen, by senior members of the royal family, to see how it's gone, to reassess the situation and see what's worked, what hasn't worked, what might need tweaking, which I actually think is quite a good idea, to be fair. And also, I quite like the fact that that door has been kept open. Now, before I move on to other news, I wanted to read some key points of the speech. So let me just go to Harry's Centre Barley speech. So these are remarks as delivered by the Duke of Sussex. Of course, we can still call him HRH and the Duke of Sussex, on the 19th of January at the Centre Barley fundraising dinner. So he said, "Good evening and thank you for being here for Centre Barley, a charity myself and Prince Ceccio created back in 2006 to honour my mother's legacy in supporting those affected by HIV and AIDS. Before I begin, I must say that I can only imagine what you may have heard or perhaps read over the last few weeks. So I want you to hear the truth from me as much as I can share. Not as a prince or as a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but with a clearer perspective." So I think what he's trying to do is show growth. I think he's trying to show that he has personally grown. Also, he wants to address the issues, I think, of that people are criticising him for walking away from his royal life responsibilities and duties. He continues, "The UK is my home and a place that I love. That will never change. I have grown up feeling support from so many of you, and I watched as you welcomed Meghan with open arms, as you saw me find the love and happiness that I had hoped for all my life. Finally, the second son of Diana got hitched. Hooray! I also know you've come to know me well enough over all these years to trust that the woman I chose as my wife upholds the same values as I do. And she does. And she's the same woman I fell in love with. We both do everything we can to fly the flag and carry out our roles for this country with pride. Once Meghan and I were married, we were excited, we were hopeful, and we were ready here to serve. For those reasons, it brings me great sadness that it has come to this. The decisions that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges, and I know I haven't always gotten it right. But as far as this goes, there really was no other option." So again, he's very much saying, me, my decision, my family. He's also admitted that perhaps he hasn't always got things right. Now, we don't know, obviously, he doesn't elaborate what those things were, but he has said that he hasn't necessarily gotten everything right. But as far as this goes, there really was no other option. So again, stressing that Harry and Meghan feel that there really was no other way forward. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding, unfortunately, that wasn't possible. So again, you can almost call this like another statement. I know it's a speech, but he's also confirming that it wasn't possible to kind of have this half in, half out role. My tiara's slipping off. Oh my goodness, right. Pop it back up. So he's saying it wasn't possible. It wasn't workable. which again, I think we're going to see more information coming up over the use of royal in the Sussex Royal brand that they are branding. I think it'll be okay for charitable ventures, but in terms of commercialization, I also feel that that is something that might not be possible. But we will see. We will. I await to see further information on that. Prince Harry continues, I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. So he's saying, well, you know, I'm not able to represent my country now, but I know that I'm still dutiful and everything that I was prior to all of this. But I hope that helps you understand what it had to come to. And I would step my family back from all I have ever known to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. And I think this is crucial as well, because a lot of people in the UK have been talking and actually being quite concerned for Harry, because royal life is the only life that Harry has had. Yes, it's one that's been mapped out and laid before him. He's had no choice in it, but regardless of that, this is the only life that he has had. This will be a big, huge change for Harry. It's almost like like a role reversal between Harry and Meghan, because obviously coming into the royal family, Meghan was in that category. You know, that wasn't her life. It was going to be her life, but it wasn't her life. So she had to make all the adjustments, and it took, you know, I mean, it took a lot to get used to, if indeed she ever did truly get used to it. I think it's going to be the same for Harry. This is all he's known. This is the only work he's ever done apart from the military, which you could, you know, argue was also in support of country and the Queen. So, you know, this is something new, something totally new for Harry. And, you know, I think, you know, trying to echo his words, I hope it can be a more peaceful life. And I think many people echo that sentiment. He says, I was born into this life, and it's a great honour to serve my country and the Queen. When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You've looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force, and my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us. And I'm going to go to the next page. He continues, it has been a privilege to serve you, and we will continue to lead a life of service. So I think he's laying down that they are still going to do, you know, one hell of a lot of charity work. And he says, it has also been a privilege to meet so many of you and to feel your excitement for our son Archie, who, oh yes, this is where I saw it. It was in the statement. Who saw snow for the first time the other day and thought it was bloody brilliant. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. I was trying to remember where I'd seen it. But yes, Archie has seen snow for the first time, and he thinks it's bloody brilliant. I will always have the utmost respect for my grandmother, my commander-in-chief, and I am incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months. I will continue to be the same man who holds his country dear and dedicates his life to supporting the causes, charities and military communities that are so important to me. So I think he's saying that basically he will continue to support in a non-royal capacity, but as a private individual. And then we kind of go into where he talks more about centre Barley. So I'm going to leave that there. I am going to go now to the comment section just to see what people are saying. And I know I can expect that this is probably a very fast moving chat. I'm unable to set slow mode when I'm doing it from my mobile phone. So yes, thank you so much to the moderators. Down the rabbit hole travel says it would be so cool just to stand next to one of them in the grocery store. It would. I would love to. Let's go up. For my love of animals says they should have done everything not to lose them. They are a good couple. How could you not want them to stay in the UK and serve and be loved and supported? Nothing should mean more to them than Harry. And I know there's going to be lots and lots of supportive comments in there as well. Now, what I really want to do is go to, I think I've actually lost my link. Let me just scroll up. Okay, I've lost my place where it was. Okay, where is it? Okay. I'm going to go to, right, I'm going to the royal family Twitter page. Here it is. So, a little bit of Sophie news about the Countess of Wessex, and then we'll get back on to William. So, the Countess of Wessex has an upcoming tour, which I'm going to read you a little bit of information about at the moment. I mean, again, it's not an incredibly detailed statement. It's just we will get more details in the coming weeks. So, the Countess of Wessex will visit Sierra Leone, which I think is really exciting. I do love whenever a member of the family visits an African nation. So Her Royal Highness will visit Sierra Leone at the request of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office from Wednesday the 22nd to Thursday the 23rd of January 2020. So it won't be weeks, it'll be obviously days, hopefully, before we get any information. The Countess will undertake a programme of engagements in Freetown, focusing on addressing sexual and gender-based violence, supporting survivors and championing women's role in peace building. Almost 20 years after the end of the 1991 to 2002 Civil War, Her Royal Highness will hear how Sierra Leone has successfully transitioned to a sustained peace following the conflict. This will include learning about the role of the Special Court and Truth and Reconciliation Commission in bringing justice to survivors of the conflict, including survivors of sexual violence. During the visit, the Countess will join roundtable discussions with civil society members on current societal issues and the continued violence faced by women and girls in Sierra Leone. Her Royal Highness will hear how efforts are being made to tackle these issues, particularly regarding stigma, which is helping more women to report incidents of rape. The Countess will visit a health centre to see how investments in education and family planning are helping to empower girls and women to have greater choice aspirations. Her Royal Highness will visit a secondary school to understand how support from the UK government is helping to keep girls safe in education. Her Royal Highness will also meet with women from across government, the armed force, civil society and communities to celebrate the role they are playing at home and abroad in advocating for peace in other regions. The Countess will hear how the UK has helped Sierra Leone to increase the part that women play in promoting peace and security. So that seems to be a very stepping up. He is hosting his first event, almost, if you like, at Buckingham Palace, and that is, of course, all to do with what's been going on today with the UK Africa investment. So we are going to be seeing some photographs, obviously, coming out of William and Catherine, the Wessexes, and I do believe Princess Anne as well. So expect a lot coming up there. Right, I'm just going to go. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to step back to, here we go. I think we have a troll in the room. Let me just see if I can remove the troll. There we go. Right, troll has been removed, I think. Hang on. Right, I've just removed the troll. There we go. There we go. Barbie Longfollow says, happy to move on to other royal news. Lots more going on. Happy to hear it. Thanks. Indeed. Right, okay. I was just dealing with what was going on right there. Right. Jude Marion says, I wonder how much impact the HRH titles will impact Harry and Meghan's work. Diana was able to do some amazing work after her title was stripped. Unfortunately, yes, Diana was, and she, her brother once famously said at the funeral, Diana didn't need any would have been the case for Harry, but we didn't get long enough to see what would have happened in Diana's future to really ascertain how her programme of how her private capacity would have carried on. We know that at the time she was trying to get official government requested roles and engagements, but on a more of a world stage. Again, we don't know how that would have gone because unfortunately it was cut off rather short. Right, okay, so I am going to go now. I think we've spoken and caught up a lot about the news that's been going on. Again, I will bring you any videos coming up. I will do reports on what William and Catherine and the Wessexes and Princess Anne have been doing tonight at the Buckingham Palace reception. So hopefully we'll get some good photos and some good video clips from there. If not, I will come on tomorrow and discuss what's been going on. If we do have any breaking news, I will also pop back on and do that. I also have my weekly vlog going live tonight on my other channel, Elliot's British Life. I will link in the description. So that will go live at 7 p.m. GMT, so that's tonight. So I hope many of you can join me there. Also, we have my Harry and Meghan channel, Steps of Sussex, which at the moment I still can't live stream from. YouTube sent me back a reply which said that it could take up to 2 weeks from reaching 1,000 subscribers before that can be activated. Which wasn't really very helpful. So I'm a week into that, so it could be another week before I can live stream from mobile from that channel. So yes, I will put all the links for any of you watching on catch up into the description box. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and this catch up and another chance just to talk about things and just try and get things a little bit more clear in our heads. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, please do remember to subscribe to the channel. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.